Hello, it's Friday the 4th of April, and this postcard is rather late. I've just been a bit busy this week. I did do most of the editing on Tuesday, so I've sat down tonight to just get it done. I lost the first video that I filmed on Sunday, so what I'll do is just this little intro and mention that the main thing is that we're going to clear the back compost bays on the new pot plot and get them sorted out. So that's what's being shown in the background video that's playing right now, which is actually from the week before, I think, or a couple of weeks ago. And I've included it so there's a basis of comparison for the videos that are coming up as I progress clearing that area. But before we get to that, first I need to do a little job, and I just need to get back here with the drill and drill a hole in there and get a nice screw through it so I can free up my poor rusty clamp. Like this that I miss my friend's SDS drill. He has the Makita SDS. It's a good piece of equipment. It would have gone through this in seconds rather than several minutes of vibrating myself with this thing. But that's done. That's nice and secure now, and I can free up this clamp, which is suffering from a bit of rust now. We'll see if the rust dissolving solution I got recently will help. So what we're planning back here is continuing this slab wall on the other side where those old compost bays are. They're coming out. So my next job is to dig them out. We're going to leave a gap where it ends right now, which will be where we put a step down onto this back area, so we've got access along the back of both plots here to keeping the weeds under control. That's the plan. Plus it's mandated by the rules on the allotment site now to leave some clear way down the back here for maintenance. So we're doing our best to make that as good as we can at our side of the plot. So at least there'll be a couple of plots worth of clear maintenance access. As you can see down there, it's not the best. And if I turn around carefully, look behind me, across this field next door, you can see that this is completely inaccessible here anyway. There we go. Good luck. I don't know what the neighbours are planning to do, but we'll see. They've built these little bays right here at the moment, just roughly assembled some pallets. But yeah, that's just jungle down there. But we'll keep our bit clear at least. Okay, next job. Check out that sunset. Beautiful. Just past 7 PM here, and hurrah for a British summertime. I wish we had BST all year round, to be honest. So the last thing I've done here is harvested some leaves. That's not all the leaves, so I've got a big bag of mustard leaf. Look at the size of that one. That's a chonker. He's going to be my afternoon snack, or evening snack now. So we have everything's going gangbusters in here. The mustards are just starting to go to flower in a couple of cases, so I need to make sure I've got some more mustardy greens in, really, because we like them. We have lots of volunteer rocket in this bed, and I've just been weeding some out of the coriander down there, which is what's in my hand here. And how's that for a bouquet? Who needs flowers? There's a bit of dill there from our dill patches, so that will be going in our mushroom pasta tonight. That celery that I harvested the other day, that's back to the same size it was, really, with new growth, so that's going pretty well. And over there in that chair are those broad beans I brought down here today. We didn't plant them out because it's quite windy. That's probably wreaking havoc with this microphone actually when I'm outside. Unfortunately, I forgot my proper microphone, so I think I did say that earlier, didn't I? So, my big job today is, look at this. We've opened up a whole new view back here. Obviously, you've just seen the footage of the partials while I was doing that. Yeah, so that's more than I expected to get done today, really. And I've started trenching down the back. So we're going to make a walkway at the back there, nice flat surface to access it and keep it clear. And I'll be putting more of those slabs in as a retainer, as I said earlier. This thing came apart easier than expected because the roof wasn't joined on the way I thought it was. It's just joined onto battens with these, and I don't have the correct bit on me for doing those. But thankfully it all came apart without having to worry about that. Just some posi screws and we're done. So yeah, that's pretty good progress. Just move that out of the way there for the moment. The old OSB kind of storage cupboard from this plot, from the new plot. A few bits and pieces, and there's all of that material from those compost bays. There's some biological goodness in there, I'm pretty sure. It'll do some good. And there's more of it than I thought, really, so that's going to be good for raising up the level in the greenhouse a bit. It's a bit soily. There's probably a lot of weed, seed and stuff in there, I think, but we'll be covering that over with a big layer of compost. Now, Cat has been super industrious in the raspberry cage today. We've moved some of the ones that were encroaching into the centre path to the edges, and Cat has done a thorough job weeding. And we'll be getting some wood chip all over this to hopefully suppress the weeds a bit. But yeah, so that's looking pretty awesome. And it will look really good once we've got the cover over it, the cover of wood chip, I mean. And yeah, that's it today, really. We've had a good little productive afternoon. The sun's starting to go down and we want to get back on our bikes and head home. And there's those leaves I was talking about. That nice big pile of mustard leaf. It's in abundance right now, so we'll use it while we've got it. But yeah, it's going to be a sunny week coming up, and I'm going to try and do my best to get down here a lot more this week before I start this job. Though the other main thing I've got to do is get that car fixed, so my time will be split between fixing car and hopefully a good chunk of time on the allotment. Okay, time to get home and eat some leaves. It's about 2 p.m. on the 31st of March. Can you believe March is at its end already? So we're going to get chip on the raspberries, as previously mentioned. Going to get those broad beans in. I may do a little bit more excavation down here, but really what we need to do here next is get the paving slabs here from home, which will require the car working. So one thing I might do is try and clamber on an IBC or something and put some polytunnel material over the top of that shed to keep it dry on the inside as maybe a temporary measure. But yeah, that's where we're at. And we'll come up with a couple of other jobs to do whilst we're here, I'm sure. So that's the groundwork done. And what we've done is we've put a board in either edge to form a path, and that's just timber from this plot or maybe one of the other plots, reused timber. Some of the many plot bricks have been used to prop it up off the ground a bit, and we've returned the pegs that were originally on it to hold it down to the ground. I don't know how much the pegs are really needed because we aren't putting any cover or anything on this, but a bit of extra security doesn't really hurt. So the idea with lifting it up off the ground a bit is to make it last a bit longer, and you know, keep it out of the wet dirt. It'll be up to that level with wood chip at least, so there will be some coverage. This Mypex in the middle is just more stuff from this plot, really. We don't really use it, but I thought this was like the one kind of location where something like this is possibly not a terrible thing. I wouldn't buy it for the purpose, but since we got it, I'm keeping it. Most of it we're throwing in the bin, really. We're trying to generally not use plastic film anywhere on the plot to within reason. And then this is some of the pine wood chip. So we're going to cover this whole area with pine wood chip, including over the what are they called again? Raspberries. There's mostly raspberries in here. There is actually some other berries here. There's some currants, a couple of currant plants there, and I think there might be a little currant plant down there as well. We'll see how they go. I don't think we saw any fruit in them this year. Oh, there was a little bit, I think. But I mean last year, obviously. But we'll see if they fruit, and if they are decent, we'll keep them. If not, I think the ideal thing to do with this space would be to make the whole thing into a raspberry cage. So yeah, let's get this wood chip spread, hey? Okay, job done. We've put the prettier wood chip as a top dressing on the path in the middle, and it's just the coniferous stuff on the left and the right. And we don't have any nice kind of compost or anything left at the moment, so I put a scattering of an ericaceous pellet slow release fertilizer over the raspberries. So hopefully that gives them a bit of a go. I mean, they did really, really well last year, and they hadn't had any care at all for years. So maybe they don't want this level of care. So obviously we've put some more of the wood chip around the place, getting everything covered. Unfortunately, we don't have any cardboard to put under this, so how effective it will be at suppressing weeds exactly, we'll find out. But hopefully it'll be okay. And as and when we find some cardboard, we can always get some cardboard under it. So we still have all this trash at the back here. Obviously this is the greenhouse glass and polycarbonate, and I'm going to now mess up our nicely sorted out a raspberry cage by putting all of these spare blue tubs in there to get them out of the way. And that's kind of how we're working. We're just having to shift things around to make space for more work. So it's going to be a continuing gradual process of picking things up, moving them, sorting the ground out underneath, doing the excavations we need to do like this at the back. Once I've got the car working, we'll get those extra concrete pavers down here and get this wall done, and then we can get this back corner sorted out. And I have started painting the spikes for stabilizing this greenhouse base. They're a nice yellow color at the moment, RAL 1003. And we'll once that's sorted, we've got another space that we're sort of getting on top of. But yeah, there's a lot of shuffling. It's like one of those little sliding puzzles where you slide the little squares around to make a picture. We still haven't worked this one out yet. We're working on it. Anyway, it's time to get all these tubs moved. And it's nearly 7 p.m. It's been a good day again. Beautiful sunshine. Not as windy as yesterday. So as I said, we now have the blue tubs stored in there for the moment. And we're trying to work out the layout back here. These IBCs will probably be there on the back edge of the plot. I have to make sure that's structurally sound so it doesn't fall in the ditch like the last people's one did. I'm going to double stack them, so that's going to be a lot of weight, so I'll make sure that's on some big pavers or something. And then here we're going to have a workbench that looks out over that field. That's the plan at the moment. And there'll be a little gate about there onto that back ledge so that we can access the rear. And at the moment the IBCs are basically working as a scaffold so I can get up on that roof, which I'm going to get some covering over. Just some polythene for now before we do a proper kind of roof for it, something a bit stronger. So like I said, we're sliding the little puzzle pieces around and getting access to things. So this is going to be the back patio here, as such, where we'll have the fire pit pretty much right there where that pallet is. That's the plan. So this will be a pretty big space. Feels a little bit of a wasted space, but we've got plenty of growing space up the front, and we'll probably put some planters in. We could have our potatoes in tubs back here, things like that. And yeah, so that big metal bench that was on top of the IBCs upside down has been moved over here for now. That will be going into the greenhouse. That'll be the workbench in the greenhouse. And let's walk straight into the sunshine. Still loving this British summertime, hey? And then over here, we've got those broad beans in. Has a much more still day today, so much happier for getting the broad beans in, and we'll now wait and see if anything absolutely destroys them. We've got this rough kind of cage over them that hopefully will keep the pigeons out, though they could jump through that gap. I'm going to cover that gap actually. I'm going to get some board and put up board against that, trying to keep the pigeons out. But then the other issue is some of them still have little beans on them, and the mice might go ape over that. We'll see. But well, we plant things and we hope. So closest to me there's 16 broad beans, the usual aqua dulce variety, and then there's 15 Vespa field beans, or 14 maybe. There's a couple of little runts in there, and I've tied each of them up to a cane to try to encourage them upwards, though I have obviously missed those two right in the centre of the shot there. Typical. Thought I'd done so well there as well. And then if we wander around to the polytunnel, everything's going gangbusters in here still. I mean, I covered that yesterday really. What I didn't mention, I think, is that we've moved that blue cage in here. So this is like an old kind of locker storage type thing. So there's like 6 little bays there, and I've just actually shoved some polythene into them, which is what we're looking at using on the shed. It's just trying to work out the biggest bits. So yeah, we have some storage in here, and if I put some extra shelves in that, it might actually be really good for things like drying out our onions and garlic, for example. So yeah, that would be useful. It's done its stint being part of our fence between the plots, and now we'll put it to proper use. I think I'm going to grab a few more leaves from in here, and that's us done for today. Signing off on Monday, 31st of March. So we've got another week ahead of good sunshine, and hopefully we'll get a bit of time down here, because as of the 8th of April I lose my open schedule and start full-time work. So which is great. It's like the best thing ever, because we're not going to end up homeless or anything like that. But it will be interesting to see if I can keep up these videos whilst also doing work, which obviously is going to become the absolute priority. But yeah, there we go. Time to head home. Four jets in formation just flew over us today on Tuesday, about 3 p.m. It's Tuesday, isn't it? And it's Tuesday, and we're down here again. I think we'll be down here most days this week. A bit windy today, but the sun's out. It's been nice. And I have just put 4 little holes of mystery mix radish. You can see the seeds down there, right in the centre of the screen. There's one little station multi-sown of them in between these broad bean rows. And over the other side, I have put a row of wasabi mustard, which is a nice spicy flavoured mustard leaf, which we use for salads. And the next thing I'm doing down here today is there'll be a couple of rows of carrots going in at the end here, and these boards are ready to go over the top to keep that soil moist and hopefully help them germinate. The big job today has been the shed roof, hiding behind the greenhouse frame there. Oh, it's quite windy. That's probably going to ruin the sound. No, we'll see. But I got polythene up on here. Who needs a drone when you've got pallets, hey? It's a nice aerial view of the plots from here. I'm working on this roof. I've just pulled off the errant old plastic, which I think is actually the original polytunnel cover from that polytunnel, based upon the remnants that were stuck to the polytunnel. I'm just sort of stapling down some of this stuff to secure it, and then we'll put some polythene over the top of this. And we won't do what they did, which is like a textbook example of how not to waterproof something, which is loop it up and over and underneath the rafters so it actually collected moisture. You want water to run off, not gather. There's a little tip for you if you're ever building a roof. Okay, time to crack on. So that makes the shed a much more usable space. So there's a layer of polythene all the way around on that. So yeah, we'll put a proper roof on this at some point. We're going to put polycarbonate sheets here, keep those skylights, keep it nice and bright inside. I'll cut some new bits of ply for the back, which I'll just overlay on those old ones. And we'll probably put some of the roofing felt on, and then some strips down the corners to keep the rain off, keep the rain out. I was thinking possibly putting a vent in the middle. This isn't the best place, sorry, this isn't the best stuff as a membrane, this polytunnel polythene, because it's non-breathable and it will sweat on the inside. Hopefully I've left it so it hangs down, so it'll not be a problem, we hope. We'll see. The old stuff came all the way around and did exactly the wrong thing. It created a little envelope which all the water gathered in, and a lot of that wood's a bit rotten, but we'll live with that. It's fine. Okay. So our first row of carrots in here is the organic resistor fly. Apparently it's a carrot fly resistant variety. And then here we've got some Chiltern Seeds amazing Technicolor Dream Carrots. Fancy name. We've found they're a little bit spotty and we mostly end up with whitey yellow carrots. We'll see what happens this year. I haven't put them in yet, but the other carrot variety pack I've got is Ruby Prince. But we'll save them for a bit later and just do the 2 rows today.